Hi everyone, I'm back on the floor again. And I came back to talk about this silly little short movie I want to make. I want to thank everyone who reached out and came to support the channel, messaging me privately, saying it was really nice when I talked. And I really appreciate people taking time out of their day to just sit and kind of watch me just blabber. Um, as I'm writing this, the last video has reached, I think, 39 views, which is more than I expected. Pretty much double what I expected, so I'm very chuffed with that, honestly. Yeah, if you guys liked me talking, this is exactly what this is gonna be. This is not gonna be a super in-depth thing. It's just me talking about what this film means to me and kind of how I wanted to portray the dark kind of side of addiction a bit. Um and yeah, free to turn this on as background noise or just give it a skip. There'll be another one in a week. Now, I'm also going to be writing my script while I'm here because I was 24 hours ago, I was like 3 pages into this, and after last night, I'm now 10. So I locked in really hard last night to pump out a few more pages and get like about half of it done. So this should be out hopefully a week after the first video. Should be a Monday when this is out. Um because I'm still working through the logistics of making this happen, getting the ideas on a paper and that. And it's kind of helped me reflect a lot more on times in my life where I have struggled with addiction and now trying to move forwards and trying to better myself. And I'm someone who relates to quite a lot of symptoms of autism. I get a lot, I understand a lot of it. And it's helped me realize how much I've used things like wine and drugs to kind of cope with a lot of social issues and stresses that I have dealt with. Um, Even in situations that definitely didn't need them. Like, even when I was just starting uni and is like the smoothest thing ever, really slow paced, just essays due every few, like an essay due every other week. That could have been done in a matter of days. It was like no, it was last minute. It was one of those things, last minute handigans. And even group settings where you think, oh, I need to mingle a room, terrifying to me, daunting as fuck. And it's one of those things where like I need a vape, I need a blunt, I need a bottle of wine to get talking and to feel like I'm kind of blending in with people. So everything I do feels natural. And I know a lot of people probably aren't in the same boat. Like a lot of people probably think like that's stupid, and other people might be thinking, "Oh my god, that's like so right." Um, but I I was constantly questioning like my judgment at the end of last year. I was really addicted to weed, and I was clouding my brain at least every other day, at the least, until I couldn't afford it, or if I lost something, which was devastating to me. I lost Benjamin Benjamin one time, and it killed me, and I started feeling really existential. I was questioning a lot of the relationships around me, how genuine they were, and it felt that I added nothing to these groups. It felt like everything I was trying to do with uni and with friendships and writing and life, it didn't matter. And obviously like I've started to wean off it quite a lot and start living life without relying on it. And I spoke to counseling after being clean for about a month, which was really nice. It was a really good change. Um, And I spoke with counseling, I spoke with doctors for help, and really the main takeaway was to distract myself with hobbies. Like, yeah, like if they say have a bath or have a cup of tea, or start painting, start writing, listen to music. And obviously at the start I was like, this is useless. Like, you would literally say this to anyone. I would be there in a doctor's office, like begging to like begging for antidepressants, begging for some kind of medication to bring my focus back. And yeah, it would be like, start baking, start writing, do some gardening. And I thought, this is useless, like this is really useless. But I started slowly like integrating it into my weekly routines when I had the time. Um, I hope to get to a point someday where I do cut out alcohol completely. But for now, it's a whole lot easier speaking in groups when you have these hobbies you're pursuing, or you're keeping up with current news, as daunting as it is, as terrible as recent news is. But another thing that I really took away from counseling, and it really like hit me hard, was really to stop being overwhelmed by the things that I should be doing, but celebrating what I have done and what I hope to do. And I think that's a reason why getting this film made is so important to me. And besides everything, like I've previously stated and I've previously went on about in the last video, this film is like my weird little baby. Like, I want to watch it grow, if that makes sense. And I really hope that the story, or at least what I like think I'm trying to say, can hopefully resonate with people. Or like I can look back on it and go, yeah, this is me. He's literally me. But I wanted to kind of like, I hope that it kind of represents this need that like I felt to kind of like to have something, or be taking something as a fix to a hole that can't instantly be filled, or something that always kind of feels like it's missing. And I think that's how I've kind of lived my life a lot, like really feeling like there is this hole, like there's this missing jigsaw puzzle, like there's this missing piece that I can't find no matter where I look. But it's like, yeah, it's led to me looking back on why I've kind of turned to these different vices, and to kind of put off like proper dissecting who I am, to kind of escape the stresses of life and whatnot. But honestly, like walking away from like drinking and weed has really helped me find, I suppose, a solid creative flow. And it's made me feel like this film could really help me progress as a writer and an artist. And I remember when I was like 12, and there was nothing like wrong, there was no brain rot. No, there was. There was YouTube poops. Anyone who was there for YouTube poops, yeah, dark time. And Logan Paul as a person, I would say that was just another thing. But back then, when I was like 12, I would be writing like full on stories. I would be writing this, like, I wrote this like 12 chapter long, like smutty period drama romance. It was like this love triangle between like a skinny little commoner lady, and these like two big buff jukes. And honest to God, it was really no Bridgerton. I was ahead of the curve. But I constantly think back to that period where I was just consistently writing. Like, there was nothing in my way. I would be doing it for fun. I would be doing it anytime I had like a minute. I would be on it. And I'm really jealous of me from 8 years ago, almost 8 years ago now, which is insane to say and insane to think about. And it's like I've tried to spend the last year reminding myself how passionate I used to be for writing. And I really hope this project manages to bring that love out again. It's obviously a lot different writing a script compared to just writing pure smut. But I hope to kind of bring that same passion out again. This film is hopefully somewhat symbolic of my journey with addiction, how it's kind of left this kind of mental scar, and going from a fairly creative, like hardworking person to this like the shell of a person with so much energy and nowhere to really put it. Um and I think it's hard when you're like at university like I am, and a lot of people probably watching this are or have at least been like end of high school, where drinking's the norm, smoking's the norm. You're probably gonna go to a house party and somebody's got this like makeshift bong. I remember seeing someone's makeshift bong one time out of like a Sprite ball. Oh my god, I'll like never forget that. That was amazing. And it kind of feels inescapable for at least me, and probably for a lot of people. Like I know a lot of people who wouldn't have drank that much coming into uni, and then they have, and it's been so overwhelming. It's been so overwhelming, and it means you can't like you can put yourself in more social situations when you're drunk, because you can talk to anybody. It feels like you can talk to anybody. Everyone will talk to you. Everyone's also drunk, so they'll be like, I know so many times I went out of the club thinking, I'm not gonna enjoy this. Like I'm just gonna have a wee drink, and I'll be hammered. I'll be dancing my tiny ass off, and people will come up and go, "Oh my god, your boobs are so big. You're such a good dancer. I love your top." And I'll be like, "Oh my god, my life is so good." And that is it. That is a quick fix. That's like tossing like moss into a hole. That's tossing like a small jar of moss into a hole. Um, because it's somewhat filling. It's kind of it's rewarding and it's nice in the moment, but in the long run, like where has that kind of got me? But I think it's also because I don't have a huge amount of like confidence in myself as a person, and I think when I was on weed, that hit me like a truck. That hit me like a truck, that I was just this sad little snail. There was nothing I could do about my weight. I had nothing really worth, like I had nothing going for me. I was like jobless for a bit, and it was miserable. There's Nobody talks about the joy of being unemployed until you're not. Like once you're back, you feel like you're like 10 years older and life sucks. That's how it feels. That's how it feels, going from like unemployed, living the high life but being broke, to then working a job and being stable, but at what cost? But I'm getting way off topic. I'm getting way off topic. I just I don't want this film to come off as like too on the nose. Like I don't want it to be like an oh my god, don't do drugs type of thing, because that's not what I'm going for. And I think everyone has the right to try something at least once. I I pray in the UK the Greens get in, those who know. Um and I want to handle this the best way I can without it being too self-indulgent. Yeah, too self-indulgent and too overblown. I don't want it to be this big meaty thing. Like I want it to be kind of like delicate in it. It's like I still want there to be a campness to it. I think that's kind of the angle. That's why I started writing so much last night. I was like, this is gonna be camp as fuck. I want it to be camp, but I don't want it to be insensitive. So it's quite a fine line I'm trying to walk right now. But I think I could get there. Like hopefully by the end, even by the end of June, like after it's revised, that could be it done. But I hope this has been good background noise for you. I'm gonna cut it here because I'll go on for hours. I'll hopefully be back next week with another script update, possibly an interview with people. But Thank you for watching.